have a business.
No,
You
I
have a
don't
story.
have a business.
And of course, every story needs an audience.
Let's try this again. Oh, this just is not going good tonight.
And, you have that sense of what is going on. I don't know what just happened. And then to go home that afternoon and then see the president talking, and it's, just that moment where you feel like here's your grandfather speaking to you through a television
That's true.
screen.
Ronnie was like your grandfather. Ronnie was like your grandfather. I might have to replay that. And also get...
What is going on? I don't know what just happened. And then to go home that afternoon and then see the president talking, and it's, just that moment where you feel like here's your grandfather speaking to you through a television screen.
What happened? What do we do now? People in those moments look to their national leaders who define what's going on and
screen.
what happened? What do we do now? People in those moments look to their national leaders who define what's going on and
Maybe if I pause it for a second, it'll help it along.
how we're going to get out of this moment, how we're going to move forward through this tragedy.
Today is a day
Here's
for
Reagan's
mourning
speech.
and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss. 19 years ago, almost to the day, we lost 3 astronauts in a terrible accident on the ground. But we've never lost an astronaut in flight. We've never had a tragedy like this. And perhaps we've forgotten the courage it took for the crew of the shuttle. But they, the Challenger 7, were aware of the dangers, but overcame them and did their jobs brilliantly. We mourn 7 heroes: Michael Smith, Dick Scobie, Judith Resnick, Ronald McNair, Ellison Onizuka, Gregory Jarvis, and Krista McAuliffe. We mourn their loss as a nation together. To the families of the 7, we cannot bear, as you do, the full impact of this tragedy. But we feel the loss, and we're thinking about you so very much. Your loved ones were daring and brave, and they had that special grace, that special spirit that says, give me a challenge, and I'll meet it with joy. They had a hunger to explore the universe and discover its truths. They wished to serve, and they did. They served all of us. And I want to say something to the school children of America who were watching the live coverage of the shuttle's takeoff. I know it's hard to understand, but sometimes painful things like this happen. It's all part of the process of exploration and discovery. It's all part of taking a chance and expanding man's horizons. The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave. The Challenger crew was pulling us into the future, and we'll continue to follow. We'll continue our quest in space. There will be more shuttle flights and more shuttle crews. And yes, more volunteers, more civilians, more teachers in space. Nothing ends here. Our hopes and our journeys continue. I want to add that I wish I could talk to every man and woman who works for NASA or who worked on this mission and tell them your dedication and professionalism have moved and impressed us for decades, and we know of your anguish. We share it. There's a coincidence today. On this day 390 years ago, the great explorer Sir Francis Drake died aboard ship off the coast of Panama. In his lifetime, the great frontiers were the oceans, and a historian later said he lived by the sea, died on it, and was buried in it. Well, today, we can say of the Challenger crew, their dedication was, like Drake's, complete. The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us for the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them this morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye, and slipped the surly bonds of Earth to touch the face of God. Thank you.
The Reagan Challenger speech was so extraordinary because it's a pitch-perfect eulogy. A lot of kids had been watching the shuttle take off. He spoke directly to them, but he pointed forward to the continuing need for exploration and ended with a touch of poetry.
I'm Jeff Schessel. Subscribe to Thinker. I do.
Thinker. I think I will subscribe. Hold on. Why I subscribe to Thinker. The one thing about Ronnie was he could always make you feel reassured. He could always reassure you. But there's no reassuring anybody when this country, this government, does stuff like this. There's no reassuring anybody, you know, especially with Benghazi, with Monsanto, and Fast and Furious, and I'm not talking the movie that just came out. I'm talking about the guns and the State Department and Justice Department, all of those. You can't trust them. But I read to you what was going on with the crew. How would you have liked to have been them, knowing you're going to die? It's almost as bad as the first Apollo mission when Gus Grissom died on the launch pad being burnt alive. He was trapped in the capsule. There was no way out. These heroes were trapped in the command part of the space shuttle, and there was no way out. They were plummeting there at the 2,000 miles an hour. That's what killed them. That's what tore them apart. You know, if it was only 200 miles an hour, they could have handled it. Race car drivers handle it. NASCAR drivers handle it. But it just wasn't meant to be. So not only has Russia had their failures, but so has the U.S. And just like Russia, they covered it up. Why? I don't know. Why would you want to cover up your failures? Because that's human nature. I screw up, I admit to it. I'm proud. I did it, I own it, it's mine. You know, like Billy Joel said, mistakes are the only things you can call your own. With that said, I want to wish everyone a great weekend. I really do hope that you will go to look up on Google March Against Monsanto, and you will contact your local leader, your local host of a Monsanto march, and that you will join the millions of us worldwide tomorrow. And actually, right now, there might actually be a march getting ready to go on, because it's like 9:43 here p.m. In Russia, that means it's like 5:43, and in other countries it's later than that. Well, maybe not actually a march at this moment going on. Maybe in Australia. I think Australia is marching. So maybe they have actually about to start their march. But join the world, be part of the march, stand up for your right to have healthy food. May you have a great weekend, blessed be, and rock on. This is Jonathan, the Impaler Sharky speaking. See you Monday night. That's all, folks.